All right. Hey, folks, we're going to do some Artificer Subclass design for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition 2024 Ultima, the Unearthed Arcana, creating for the Spelljammer campaign setting, the Siege Engineer. So using Artificer magic to enhance siege weapons in ship combat using Spelljammer Combat Exploration and the Unearthed Arcana 2024 document. So give me a second here. For me to check in on my signal, make sure everything's coming along cleanly. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. It looks like I have my volume off, so I can't hear myself. Yeah, that sounds pretty rich. So we're going to leave that be like that. We should be okay. I'm going to grab the link here, and we'll get to work for a little while. Let's see. Got about an hour or so today, I think, after we get the updates bouncing. Just a hot second here. My brain's I'm having glitches. So give me a hot second. All right, so it looks like that's going to be okay. We got the link there, and I am posting stuff, and we'll be live. We'll actually get to work. We're already live. We'll get to work here in a moment. So let's see, just to catch you guys up on what's going on here. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And, well, hey, Steve, it's good to see you. Let's see, I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2017. I've been a Spelljammer enthusiast since 1993. I think is when it came out. I bought it at B. Dalton Bookstore back in the day. I've been DMing and Dungeons & Dragons specifically since 1987. And boy, I love Spelljammer. I love Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. I absolutely love designing games and content for the system. I love that Spelljammer's on DMsGuild now so that I can officially build content with the Spelljammer label. That was one of my dreams growing up as a child since I was 16. So maybe it was 90, yeah. 92, maybe 16, 17 years old. That feels about right. Anyway, it's been a while since Spelljammer came out, and it's just been I've been in love with it ever since it came out. Just to clean up the intro here real quick so that we can get to work. Here on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Here is the document that we're working inside of right now, the Spelljammer Subclass Work in Progress. Click on that. It'll pop open a Google Doc. For you, it's going to be a read-only, look, don't touch. But this is going to be the document that I am using. Where'd you go? There you are. This is the same document, Spelljammer Subclasses. So I'm going to scrape this out of the way for now. And we're going to be looking at I'm going to drop this down out of the Spelljammer Subclasses. We've got the UA document here that we're looking at we can use to help structure. And we have the Martial Powers document here that North Oregon. Hey, what's up? Would love to play in one of your games, North Oregon Coast. Yeah, Seattle time here. What's up? I mean, if you want to play test in the Martial Powers system, we do it Monday nights at 5:30 PST till 9 p.m. on Monday nights. We typically have 3, maybe 4 players. I can take a table up to 5. I prefer 4. We get by with 3. So, I mean, if you're really interested, you're welcome to drop by my Discord and jump in, make a character, and kick with us. We're 3rd level right now and digging through a mega dungeon. They're fighting undead lizardmen in a freshly unearthed temple that is still active with magics. But I'm going to scroll through this all these martial power mechanics that you're absolutely welcome to look at. Drop down here past all the class redesigns to use mana. The trick is that the Spelljammer book doesn't use mana. The Spelljammer books use spell slots in the Vancian magic system. So I have to be careful about cross-contaminating products. I've got the spell point system, I've got my Spelljammer system, and I have my Bastion system, all 3 of which can be relevant to your Artificer character if you were to play in the kind of campaigns that I run, where spell points, Dominion style, and Spelljammer exploration and combat are 3 major points of interest in my campaigns. So here we are, back into the Artificer progression. Here's our scaffold. We're going to skip past all that down into the subclass features. So one of the features that we know we picked up here, let's get down to Artificer. So one of the things that we know we got in the Artificer was there are no more infusions, so I need to fix that. The extra command action at 5th level basically gives me an extra attack with siege weaponry, whether they're mounted weapons that you can fire as a single individual, or to issue an additional command during a round of combat for your siege crew. So we're gonna have to work on some of this. So we'll have to work on some of the scaffolding. Yeah, man, right on. Just the Martial Powers playtest it's an Earthbound campaign. Using the mana system from the Martial Power system that we've got going on. And yeah, it's just a dungeon crawl. So, they find a temple. There was an earthquake. It opened up a ravine that revealed a temple inside. You go inside. By the team gets there, there's already greenskins that are exploring it. So initially they were fighting orcs, hobgoblins, bugbears, goblins. And once they got through them enough, they're like, you're killing all our people, and we're just trying to rescue some of our people. Tell you what, we'll split the treasure with you if you rescue our guys and stop killing us. We'll pay you off to help free our people so that we can get out of here, and it's yours. You're welcome to have it. They took the deal last session, the session before, and then last night when we played, they successfully rescued the orcs. They got their treasure for it. The orcs took off, and now the entire dungeon complex is there. The way that I build dungeon tangent here, the way that I build dungeons is I build them by zones, and as you move through a zone and you secure that area, you can use that as a resting point so that you can dive further into the dungeon. But if you want, we're using BECME systems, so the only experience points you get is from gold that you accumulate from the different areas like gems, magic items. This temple has a lot of gold leaf along the walls and all the murals, and the orcs have been taking time to chisel it off of the walls. So they have these bags full of stone encrusted like silver or gold leaflet that is like weighs 50 pounds, but it's worth 400 gold if they can get out of there. So encumbrance becomes an issue when they have to figure out how much can we actually walk away with, because they can just pile it up in their safe zone and just let it sit there. And then once they decide to actually leave to go back to society to cash in all the gold for experience points, then they have to start assessing, can we actually carry all this stuff? Like a 200-pound gold statue, you can't lug that for 5 days through jungle to get back home. It's just not going to work. So that might be something you have to leave behind. Or you take a portion of your gold and you purchase a caravan to come out, grab it, and then take it back. So then you can cash it out. But that's eating up your gold that you dug out of the dungeon in the first place. So now you're having to spend the gold to get gold that you can then convert into experience points. That was one of the problems with not problems. That was one of the challenges of dungeon delving in BECME, is that this stuff weighs like literally a ton, and we can only carry so much. Do we have enough supplies in a caravan train that we can actually extract all this stuff and take it away? So now they're going to want to like a gem has the same weight as a gold piece, but it can weigh it can be up to 5,000 golds in value. So the higher level you get, the more extravagant the gems and crystals are that you find that eventually replace gold altogether. And now there's just fists of gems laying around. And in our system, those gems are normally capable of holding mana. So a lot of the gems that they're finding are loaded with mana that gives them extra batteries. But if they use them, then they destroy them like consumables. So they're eating their gold to gain additional mana to throw more spell power and magic around. It's fun. It's a fun system. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great balance. I haven't ran a straight BECME dungeon like that in well over a decade, and I certainly haven't done BECME style gold XP in 5th edition ever. So it was a fun project. But the real point is that it's a playtest. So I want the characters to gain levels during the playtest, but I want to be able to just hit them with as many monsters as they can handle a day, just to stress test the system. So by dividing killing creatures and surviving traps from your experience points, I can just hit you with wave after wave after wave of enemy, and it doesn't give you any experience points unless you're like, because they have healing potions, they have mana crystals, they have magical weapons, equipment, stuff that they scraped off the walls, etc. So they have their own stuff as well. So the team's looting bodies and like checking nooks and crannies and looking for passages and stuff to see like where's the loot, because they know it's in there, because that's how dungeons work. So it's like a classic dungeon crawl. Super fun. I love dungeon crawls. So much fun. Yeah, Beckme has by far the absolute best narrative structure. I don't like the mechanics. 5e I think is just vastly superior mechanics overall, just running a game. But the style, like the narrative of in how all the different components of society and adventuring, like I talk about in the Bastion development stuff that we do. It's just, I absolutely love that Dominion style play, and the old Beckme system was just exquisite at leaning into that path of power from 0 to God, like over the course of 36 levels into godhood, and then demigod, and then into greater god status. It's just it's such a smooth system. It's never been replicated. I love it. At least I've never seen it replicated. So okay, let's actually get after this. So it's 1:58 here. I've got about an hour to play. We're looking at, so yeah, I think I just gotta kind of dig this up and start rebuilding it, since we now have a new format. The way that Ultima, the way that Unearthed Arcana works, I keep saying UA because I keep saying Ultima because I was a big Ultima Online enthusiast back in the early 90s, like not early 90s, but like 97, I think, 98. 90, was it 94, 95 when Ultima Online came out? But I played that religiously in college. Before EverQuest, before WoW, there was UO, and so UO, UA, anyway. You get it. Tool proficiencies. So this is where we start. So let's just gank the tool proficiencies, because every Artificer subclass has tool proficiencies, and when they do, they're typically linking it to some sort of supplies. So let's lean into that idea, and let's go back to the game rules, sources, Player's Handbook 2024. We'll drop down into equipment, and we'll look for artisan tools and crafting equipment. Tools. And there's mounts and vehicles. Tool proficiencies, alchemist supplies, brewing supplies, calligrapher supplies, carpenter's tools, portable ram, torch. What does smith tools do? Mason's tools, block and tackle. Smith's tools, ball bearings, grappling hook, iron spikes. Maybe I'm approaching this from the wrong angle. Maybe I need to look at vehicles. Maybe it says in here what it takes to build vehicles, because I think this is probably the tool we're going to end up with. Let me fix my microphone here. My boom arm is getting in the way of me leaning into the screen. I should probably zoom in, but I hate the way that the screen zoom with this stuff. Let's try it out. Yeah, see, it just completely yeets off. There it is. Okay, mounts and vehicles. A mount can help you move more quickly in the wilderness, but its primary purpose is to carry gear that would otherwise slow you down. Mounts and other animal tables show the animal's carrying capacity. See for animal type. Mounts and cargo. An animal pulling a carriage, chariot, blah. Can move weight up to 5 times its base carrying capacity, including the weight of the vehicle. If multiple animals pull the same vehicle, add their carrying capacities together. So that's how you haul treasure out of the dungeon with animals. If you're in a jungle, you're probably going to need an elephant. So that you now have purpose for having an elephant. It's based on terrain. Saddles, blah blah blah. There's your elephant. Effluent. Carrying capacity, 20 pounds. There you go. Easy peasy. And at 3rd level, you can buy one, because at 3rd level, you'd have starting equipment plus 200 gold pieces. So they could have an elephant waiting for them in the jungle to emerge with their treasure. That's great. Tack harness, drawn vehicles, large vehicles, airborne, waterborne vehicles. Table provides statistics for various types of large vehicles. The following notes apply. Speed, blah. Crew, blah. Passengers, blah. DT, blah. Ship repair repairs to a damaged ship can be made while the vessel is berthed. Repairing 1 hit point of damage requires 1 day and costs 20 gold pieces for material and labor. If the repairs are made in a location where supplies and skilled labor are abundant, such as a city, the repair time and cost are halved. So 2 hit points per day for 10 gold pieces of material. 20 gold pieces for 2 days, for 2 hit points per day. How many hit points do you have? These are comparable hit point capacities to Spelljammer. Let's open up the galley and see how it looks in comparison to a space galleon. Galleys have the following statistics: cargo total 150 tons. DTs 20. That's a lot tougher than the space galleon with a lot more hit points. Stronger capacity, stronger hit point capacity. Definitely not using Spelljammer rules. Interesting that they don't. But it doesn't say what kind of equipment that you need to repair. Lifestyle expenses. Carpenter, I would say you gain proficiency in carpenter tools or smithy tools. Smithy tools is probably... Smith's tools, I think, would probably make the most sense. Though carpenter tools does make sense as well. Proficiency in carpenters. Or Smith's tools. Or choose another tool. In addition, when you craft siege weapons and vehicles, reduce the time required by 1 degree. Gold value 100. 400. 4,000. 40,000. 200,000. Is there anything that costs more than 40,000 gold? Airship's coming at 40K. Theoretically, there could be one. I'm going to leave it there, but yeah. So you could build an airship, 40K. It would normally take a season to build one, but if you're an artificer with magic, it would take only a week to build an airship. Not bad. Let's see. In addition, if you're using the Bastion system, though, to be able to do that, it would be a DC 25 that you'd have to hit, and if you fail, you have a complication that would delay being able to build the thing. So that's I'm good with that. I'm good with that sitting as is. Infuse siege, create, infuse, and create siege weapons with eldritch power. There, that makes sense. Tool proficiency is good. Level 3. Siege engineer spells. Hunter's Mark, Tensor's Floating Disc, Enhanced Ability, Warding Bond, Intellect Fortress, Wind Wall, Fabricate, Stone Skin, Animate Object, Awaken. These are all good. Siege infusions. You can infuse mounted and siege weapons with a selected... Okay, so infusions don't exist anymore. So we need to replace that. Let's look at our PDF to see the kind of stuff that we get. It's going to be a core feature. We get our spells. Oh, this should be siege engineer spell. Good. We have that. Let's go down to the artillerist because that's the closest thing to what we're doing. Dual proficiency, artillerist spells. Level 3. The way we have it right now is you create armor, you create turrets, you create a familiar, create potions. Third level, siege weapon. Construct. Siege weaponry. You can create a mounted weapon. You can create Eldritch Cannon. You can create an Eldritch Cannon as a mounted weapon. As described in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement page. Let's go find the page. Hold on real quick. We're going to self-reference. This is why I make all my books free preview. Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. Crack open the book. Drop down here to weapons and siege combat, weapons and crew, ranged ship weapons. Here we go. Ranged weapons, Eldritch Cannon. There we go. And this is page 34. You can create an Eldritch Cannon as described in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement. Page 34. One line's fine. Eldritch Cannon. Commonly equipped aboard Tyrant ships. Requires focus. Medium size. 1x1. Occupies a 5-foot square. Weight 250 pounds. Armor class as per ship, because a mounted weapon becomes a part of the ship. Unless it's, you know what? Honestly, that is something to consider. 2024 revision, mounted, provide standalone stats for mounted weapons, in addition to stats while mounted. The harpoon flinger, which is here's illustrations. Here's a harpoon flinger, and here's an Eldritch Cannon. So a harpoon flinger is from Descent into Avernus. The Infernal War Machines had harpoon flingers. They do 2d8 damage. They have a range of 150 feet. There you go. You fire the thing, you deal damage, but it's mounted, and it takes one crew member to use it. It has the reload property. So if you have the crossbow master feat, it's a single mounted weapon, but a single creature can mount and fire the weapon together for however many attacks per round your character has. That's the base default of how mounted weapons work, as opposed to siege weapons require multiple people working together to make it fire once, potentially once per round, or if you roll really well on your reload die, potentially more than once. So, yeah, illustration. There you go. So focusing on, so the harpoon flinger, it does 2d8 piercing damage, has a range of 120, or long range of 480. And when you're in a zero gravity environment, the void range increases to 500 close, and then a mile, 5,000 feet away for the long distance. The way that the Spelljammer system works as we have it, it takes time for ammunition to move from its point of origin to its target. If the rule is the rule is a mile, since zero gravity means that things just go on. We have a deceleration rule. That basically is if you fire like anything that's large, that's 5 feet or smaller in size, like most ammunition, it runs out of momentum after 24 hours. So if you are in a space battle amongst like a fleet or something, one of the hazard conditions that can exist is just free floating ammunition that hasn't ran out of momentum yet. That's just stray fire that you can wander into. So anytime you're engaged in combat, there is a chance that you would just end up in the line of fire of stray fire that didn't hit their target and end up taking hazard damage if you don't succeed on a dexterity saving throw. Just common sense stuff. But the general rule is that if you're firing at a target and they're more than a mile away, if they're surprised, you would have disadvantage at that range, but if they're surprised, you have advantage to attack them. So it washes out to just be a normal attack roll. But if they can see it coming, if they're aware of the attack, they can literally see it coming from a mile away. So if your target is more than a mile away, they do not need to spend any actions. You automatically miss because they have a 500-foot space to operate inside of. They can just shift a little bit offline and the attack misses because it's too far away to be a credible threat for you to be caught by surprise and caught out by it. So if you're targeting something that's more than a mile away, it has to be a sniper shot or they can't maneuver for you. Like you could hit a moon because that moon's not moving. Like it's in a set orbit. You can just track where you need to hit and then you hit it. You can't avoid it. But if it's a maneuverable target, then if it's over a mile away, you cannot hit it unless you surprise them. That's the basic rule there that goes into the range here. But we're not building harpoon flingers. We're building eldritch cannons. But let's make sure I'm not running afoul. They have an eldritch cannon here, and we have an eldritch cannon in our document. So let's compare and contrast, shan't we? Let's drag this down to here. Eldritch Cannon. Using woodcarver tools or smith tools, you can take a magic action to create a Eldritch Cannon. I'm aware now that we have a conflict in titles. I don't know if I want to change mine or not. It is a little bit of a misnomer that they would be titled the same thing. Let's go with third level mounted weapons. Mounted siege weapon. You can create a harpoon, flinger, or eldritch cannon as described in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. This weapon is immobile unless created on a platform. Unless created on a mobile surface such as a cart, such as a ship, cart, or tensor's floating disk. I love that, by the way. Let's see, where is the page that I want? D&D Beyond. Tensor's floating disk. The disk remains for the duration and can hold up to 500 pounds. If more weight is placed on it, the spell ends and everything on the disc falls to the ground. The disc is immobile while you are within 20 feet of it. If you move more than 20 feet away from it, the disc follows you so that it remains within 20 feet of you. It can move across uneven terrain, up or down stairs, slopes, and the like. So you can drop Oh, wait, here's the new one. The disc remains in the duration. You can hold it to 500 pounds. If more weight is placed on it, the spell ends and everything on the disc falls to the ground. Within 20 feet of it, if you move, while you are within 20 feet of it, if you move more than 20 feet away, the disc follows you and blah. Okay, great. So it's these weapons weigh 250 pounds, 5-foot space. You can place a tensor's disc underneath them, and you can have your weapon carry along with you. Coincidentally, a ballista weighs 500 pounds, which meets the weight capacity of a tensor's floating disc. So at higher levels, when we can start creating larger siege weapons, you can drop a ballista onto your tensor's disc and have it float with you through a dungeon if you want to be able to dump some heavy damage on your opponents. So just a word for fun. Third level mounted siege weapons. Let's see. Let's go with create siege weapon. You can create a harpoon flinger or eldritch cannon and here's the eldritch cannon. Hold on, just give you the rest of the language on how this one works. I'm going to have to noodle on resolving the title, because I didn't consider Eldritch Cannon. Maybe we should call it just maybe we should switch it to Arcane Cannon, because it works with Divine and Druidic magic as well. So I wanted to go with Eldritch Cannon, but clearly we have a contrast with Artificer, which needs to be addressed. So commonly equipped partnerships can be used as an orrery station, can be used as a spell amplifier as detailed below. Gravity and void range is 500. Damage type is force mounted damage. The amount of damage dealt as a mounted weapon is determined by the casting level of the character or the rank of the crewmate with magical abilities as listed on the table below. If your casting level is first to fourth, where we're at, mounted damage D8, spell level 1 to 2, siege damage is D4 times 10. Siege damage: when a spellcaster hits with an eldritch cannon attack, you can deal siege damage by using a bonus action and spending a spell slot as listed above. For example, a 7th level sorcerer in this zone here can deal 2d8 force damage with a successful attack, or can use a bonus action to spend a 4th level spell slot to deal d8 times 10 damage. And we have rules about how you can, like for example, siege weapon. When you're dealing siege damage, dealing siege weapon attacks, if a target has cover and it's smaller than 50 feet in size, you can't target it because your siege weapon attack has too large. It's too large of a projectile to target something that's like medium size that has cover. It's just going to hit this. It's going to hit the cover. It's not going to hit the target. So you can't successfully target something if it has cover. That's how you protect NPCs or low hit point capacity creatures from just getting picked off one by one by a ballista bolt, for instance. If you catch a target out in the open, like if they're just drifting through space, then yeah, chances are you're just going to be able to skewer them. But that's logic. So make sure you have cover. Ships, the railings on ships, other siege weapons, a mast, stairwells, anything that you can get any kind of partial cover from prevents you from being directly attacked by siege weapons. So that keeps siege attacks focused on ships and structures where they need to be. And you have to get really up close and personal to be able to attack creatures individually. Mounted weapons don't have that problem. So if I'm making a mounted weapon attack like that D8 or 2d8 damage or 3d8 or however much damage, you're basically operating within the CR that's appropriate for the type of creatures that your character would be facing at that level. So the scaling is in place there. So hey, Karen, it's good to see you. How's your foot doing? Create siege weapon. You can create a harpoon flinger or eldritch cannon as described in the Spelljammer Combat Exploration system. Spelljammer page 74. This weapon is immobile unless created by a mobile surface such as a ship, cart, or tensor's floating disc. You can infuse mounted and siege weapons. I can skip that part there. Let's see. You can create a harpoon flinger eldritch cannon as described. This weapon is immobile. And lasts. I don't think. Is there a duration on these things? Hold on. Stores hit points. Extra attack still works at 5th level. Okay, yeah, we need to bump. Get that all out of the way. No, I don't need code. Thanks, though. F12 button. Still in physical therapy. Good. Excellent. Hey, congratulations! You're healed. Now it's just repair or internal repair. So congrats. Progress is being made. Let's see. Create siege weapon. Let's go with 9th level. Let's go with enhanced. Advanced siege weapon. Been putting the tea tree on. Nice. Very nice. Extra command. You can create a harpoon flinger. When you use the attack action to attack with a mounted siege weapon or issue a command to a siege crew, you gain an additional attack that can be used. When you use the attack action to attack with a mounted siege weapon or to issue commands to a siege crew, you gain an additional attack that can be used. Fire the mounted. When you use the attack action to attack with siege weapons, you gain an additional attack that can be used to fire, to make an additional siege weapon attack, or to issue commands to a siege crew, or to issue commands or to command a siege crew to make an additional ranged ship weapon attack or to reload. Because the Spelljammer document we have is when you're making attacks, your attack action is an order for your siege crew to load, aim, and fire a siege weapon. And if you roll high enough on your roll, it means that you will automatically reload the weapon. If you don't roll high enough, whether you hit or not, if your roll is below the reload difficulty, then you have to spend additional actions to reload the weapon, and slows down your rate of fire. So higher rank weapons require higher ranked commanders to maintain the same rate of fire. Otherwise, you have to have more characters adding action economy to oversee the loading and firing of the weapons, or you just have to be content with a slower rate of fire per round. So siege weapons. This weapon is immobile unless created on a mobile surface, such as a ship, cart, or tensor's floating disc. You create a harpoon flinger, Eldritch Tornado, as described in the Spelljammer Combat Exploration Supplement, page 34. The weapon has hit points equal to your Artificer level times 5. And Artificer level times 5, and you can Period. And has the stats and properties of siege weapons as described in SCE page 32. Reloading ranged weapons, hit points, ability scores, ranged siege weapons. This is page 32. Page 32. Extra command. Advanced siege weapons when you... page 32. You... if you're... you can create one weapon this way, regaining the ability, this. You can create one weapon this way when you and can create a new one replacing the current weapon when it still exists when you finish a long rest or when you expend a spell slot as part of the action. You as a bonus action, comma, you right. A spell slot as part of the bonus action. Create a new weapon, period. Extra command, advanced siege weapon. When you take command, let's see. 9th level. Level 5. Level 9. It's got some layered effects. 9th level, advanced siege weapon. When you take command of a siege weapon adjacent to you, as an action, you can magically create an animated... awakened siege weapon. There we go. That'll make it better. We'll get to that in a second. When you advanced siege weapon, when you create when you use the create siege weapon feature, you can instead you can choose to create a ballista instead of a mounted weapon. When you hold on, when you take command of siege weapons adjacent to you, you can focus on the weapons to create a magical barrier of force that provides 3-force cover to the siege weapons and the crew operating them. While you remain focused. Focused is a mild form of concentration that you can stack on multiple. Focus is applied to equipment. So if a piece of equipment requires focus, it's as though you're concentrating on whatever that equipment does to utilize it. You can focus on multiple objects at once to gain focus with that item. It requires either an action or a bonus action. You can do so twice in the same turn with different items if you want. If you take damage or otherwise a saving throw would potentially disrupt your concentration. It also threatens focus in the exact same way. If you lose focus on all items that you're currently focused on, and then it requires action economy for you to regain focus on each of them. Things that you can focus on include spell jamming helms, orrery stations, spell amplifiers, and magically enhanced siege weapons, like what we're dealing with here. When you focus is also not concentration, though it acts like it, which allows something like a barbarian to be focused on a helm while piloting, so you can have a rage pilot barbarian, which we have a subclass for down below. Yeah, there you go. So cheating the rules by changing words. But that's how 5e works. And the narrative is too good. When you use the create siege weapon feature, okay, this is what we need to do. What I need to do is cut there, and then I'm going to just rewind all of this business here. Where's my bit? Why isn't it there? Is that what we called it? Advanced siege weapon? We're taking this all the way back. There it is, fortified weapons. So we're going to call it fortified siege weapon. When you take command of siege weapons adjacent to you, you can focus on the weapon to create a magical barrier force that provides 3 force cover to the siege weapons and to the siege weapon. When you focus on, when you take command of siege weapons adjacent to you, you can focus on weapons. So you can have multiple weapons set up around you depending on how you set up your ship, so that you can have one character that's adjacent to all of them, so that you can provide your command bonus to all of them. And the Artificer leans into that. Barrier 3 force cover, which gives you a +5 to your armor class and a +5 bonus to saving throws and dex checks. And you can't be targeted by siege weapon attacks specifically. While you remain focused, a protected siege weapon and crew also gains resistance to BPS damage. And then we have the awakened siege weapon. So we're making a change there. When you use the create siege weapon feature, you can choose. There we go. You can magically create an animated ballista instead. You can instead magically create an animated ballista that can be commanded to attack without a siege crew, as described in SCE page 55. The ballista has a reload score of 1 and deals 1d4 times 10 force damage. The extra attack command feature gained at the 5th level can be used while commanding this weapon as though it has a siege crew. The ballista remains animated while you remain focused on it. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also spend a spell slot to use this feature again. And we're going to remove that word. And we're going to go up here. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short rest, finish a long rest. You can also spend a spell slot to gain use of this feature during your turn. Awakened siege weapon. To create siege weapon feature, you can instead magically create an animated ballista that can be commanded to attack without a siege crew. The ballista has a reload score of 1 and creates its own ammunition when ordered to fire, dealing 1d4 force damage on a hit. There, we fixed it. Wow, that wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Carpenter Smith tools. In addition, when you craft siege weapons, we'll make it siege weapons specifically instead of vehicles. Tap that. Reduce the time required by 1 degree. Gold value, weeks, days, minutes. Do I have a gold value? Did I provide a gold value cost in here? Cost 200 gold pieces. There we go. $500 gold pieces for an Eldritch Cannon. Only 80 golds for a Harpoon Flinger. So we can make a Harpoon Flinger in a day if we are a Artificer. You gain proficiency in Carpenter's tools or choose another tool. In addition, when you craft siege, you can create magical plan. You can choose siege weapons as one of your plans, and when you craft siege weapons, reduce the time required to craft them by 1 degree. The time taken is determined by the cost of the siege weapon. There. I don't think anything costs 200,000 gold, but we're going to put it in there for the funs of it. Let's see. Bolts, stones, special ammunition, harpoon flinger. I just want to look at the different costs that we have set up. 500 for Eldritch Cannon. 8,000 gold for a gift cannon. 400 gold for a trebuchet. 300 gold for the Menganganel. And 200 for Ballista. Does that remain true in 2024? What a great question. Let's find out. Let's go to D&D Beyond. Walking. I'm so glad to hear that. That's great. And so I guess it would take months, huh? I'm really glad to hear that. That's great, Karen. I'm really glad that you're healing well. That's fantastic news. Our siege weapons in the Dungeon Master's Guide or in the Player's Handbook? Trade goods, gemstones, cosmology, treasure, bastions. Siege equipment. There we go. Woo! We did add more siege weapons, didn't we? Flamethrower coach. Cannon. Keg launcher. That's great. Lightning cannon. $4d10 lightning damage. These are fun. Maybe we should in the 2024 revision. Explore all the new siege weapons in DMG. There. Mangonel. Where's your price tags, y'all? Is there a price tag laying around here somewhere? I feel like there should be a price tag. Settlements, tables, and tracker. Huh? Maybe in the player's handbook there's a price guide for equipment. Mounts and vehicles. Maybe down here. Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. Saddle, large vehicles, crew, passengers. I'm not seeing a price tag on siege weapons anywhere. Am I just missing it? I could just be missing it. Siege equipment includes objects designed to assail castles and other wall fortifications. Most siege weapons require creatures to move them, as well as to load, aim, and fire them. It's a cannon. D8 times 10. We got that looking pretty. Yeah, I think we can. Well, I might have to add an extra page to the document, but I think I can incorporate all this stuff. The flamethrower would be great because then you could catch stuff on fire because we have the catch stuff on fire rule. They also have the burning. That's right. We now have a burning hazard. So 2024 revision. Burning property equals 1d4 per 5-foot space. Keg launcher, that's funny. Yeah, I'm not seeing a press tag. That's a great picture. Well done, guys. The spikes don't make much sense, but hey, cheers. All right, well, we'll just have to skip past it. But yeah, we have some cool options. Let's see. Artificer. Tensor's disc. So the weapons that we build can all fit on a Tensor's disc. I think that's important. Extra command. Fortified siege weapon. This is just kind of a trumped up version of the artillerist I see, but I think it does warrant looking. I could potentially just modify the artillerist, but the artillerist has like the small handheld cannon that does like 3d8 damage. It's out of proportion for what the ship system is. So I think defining it separately as an artillerist, plus I love Tensor, so I love that idea. So I want to milk that. This feels right. An awakened siege weapon. Hold on. Create siege weapon. Siege. Siege minion. Let's call it that instead. That seems like fun. When you use the create siege weapon feature, you can instead magically create an animated ballista that can be commanded to attack without a siege crew. As described on page CSE, animate object spell. Get out of here. Spell, period. Period. The ballista has a reload score of 1 and creates its own ammunition when ordered to fire, dealing 1d4 times 10 force damage. The extra attack command feature gained at 5th level can be used while commanding this weapon as though it has a full siege crew. Period. Okay, that's technically all I need to do. for the Artificer. So, infuse with creativity. Level and spells. Double checking. Yeah, it's weird that they don't have a listed gold value for siege weapons. I must be missing it somewhere somehow. If anyone out there in Chatland, if you know what the pricing for all the siege weapons in the DMG are, let me know. Drop me a note in the description and the comments down below, or jump into my Discord and point it out to me. But yeah, that's it. That's done. How long have we been at this? If it's been an hour, it's been an hour. It's been exactly an hour that we've been doing this. So this was the task that we had for the day. Let's do a quick look. So we have the weapon masteries for the siege weapons. If we're going to expand our siege weapons to all the ones that are in DMG, we'll probably have to take a look at that as well. Artificer, siege engineering, got that. Barbarian, path of the raging pilot. Bard. Cleric. I think we're getting very, very close to having this resolved. I don't have time to thumb through everything right now, but I feel in the very okay. So what I need to do is make sure that the Spelljammer 2024 book is updated before I can make sure that all the pages and stuff like that are relevant for the subclass book. So I think we're about at the place where we need to set down the subclass project and then pick up again the SCE book and make the revisions necessary using the 2024 rules that we're starting to accumulate. I honestly don't. This thing is pretty tightly built, as most of my books are. It tends to be a real pain in the ass to add pages or to alter the supplement somehow. First off, I don't use page numbers now, so that helps a lot. The PDF document itself will tell you what page you're on at any given time, so I don't need to worry about that. So that helps make things a little bit easier, that I can just insert an extra page if I need to, but then that could mess up the structure of, because again, like I talk about, I like to have each page have its own thought. Like in the case of the weapons, we see that weapons strewn across multiple pages, but I don't break a paragraph. Like I'm not in the middle of talking about something here and then let that spill over onto the next page and continue talking about it. Each page it has its own thoughts, and those thoughts are completed on that page. If a thought requires more than one page, we make sure we break down the idea into subtopics so that each subtopic can fit on its own page, so that whenever you're looking at something, it's self-contained. So that's the idea anyway. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here for now. We're going to need to get into we're going to need to start diving into the Spelljammer stuff, rebuilding the book. So at some point, I think we're probably going to do a page turner where we go through each page and try to see, like, as I go through the DMG and we find stuff, it's like, oh, this would affect, and then we see what it affects. So I probably just need to spend more time with the PHB, the DMG, and the SCE books together just to see how things kind of melt together so that we can have a proper rebuild. We continue to work on the Eberron book, so we're doing the page layouts in the evening on Eberron. Once those layouts are done, then we can start doing redesign for the SCE book at night. We continue to do artwork for the Eberron adventure Monday through Friday in the morning. I will not be here tomorrow. It's a holiday. I'm going to spend time with family and friends. I will be back on Thursday. I'll be back Thursday morning to continue work on Eberron. I will be back at lunch. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have that day off to myself. So lunchtime we can come back and maybe we'll work on Spelljammer then. And then Thursday night, we'll have time to work on the Bastion system some more. Friday morning, we'll be back doing Eberron art. I have Friday off as well, so maybe we can pick at Spelljammer some more at lunchtime. And then I'll be done for Friday. And then Saturday brunch, we'll be back. I'll work on the Bastion system some more. I'll be back on Monday, which I also have off. So more Eberron in the morning, Spelljammer at lunch. Maybe Bastion at lunch. I'm not sure. One or the other. And then we have play testing Monday night for our 3rd level martial power system. And then Tuesday I also have off. So I'll have Tuesday morning on Eberron, Tuesday lunch, Spelljammer or Bastion. And then Wednesday is holiday. I'll be taking time off for family and friends. And then I'll be back to my normal schedule on Thursday. Back at Eberron in the morning. Wednesday, potentially having lunch, doing SJ or Bastions. And then Thursday morning, Thursday evening, Friday morning, Friday lunch, Saturday brunch, and we continue on from there. So looking forward to Thursday plus. I'm out of here for now, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. What's up? Merry Christmas. Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas. You too. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everyone. So I will see y'all on the other side, and have a blessed holiday. Cheers.